I have been searching for a deck that truly enhances traditional tarot imagery, one that has a lot of depth and beauty without moving too far from its roots. The deck that respects the classic structure of tarot and elevating its aesthetics, and I think I finally found one. This might just be the top deck of a year, and it's created by an artist with over 15 tarot decks under his belt. And this deck is a stunning piece of work. It's rich, immersive, and masterfully designed. Hi, my name is Jay, and this is Lunar Tarot, where I bring you weekly reviews of new tarot and oracle decks to inspire your readings. And today we'll be looking at the Marchetti Tarot, created by Ciro Marchetti and published by US Game Systems. This deck was made in 2024, but only went on sale in 2025, so it's very new. And I'm really glad that I managed to get a copy of this. We will go through the guidebook, a quality of cards, do a flip through and one card read. Stick around until the end and I'll tell you exactly who this deck is for and whether it's worth adding to your collection. I will also give you a sneak peek to a very unusual deck that explores relationships, decisions, and all things heart that I'll be reviewing in the next video. Starting with the quality, this is pretty decent thick cardboard deck, and inside we're greeted by the guidebook written by Lee Burston and deserves a special recognition. I'll show you in a second why. And the actual deck with a little tiny tape, and it's done really classy in a way. You know, this the framed little insert keeps the deck in place and doesn't shuffle too much, and we'll look at the actual cards in a second, but let's look at the guidebook. So the book shares a lot of insights. First of all, it talks about how creating a tarot deck is significantly harder than an oracle deck because you have to adhere to a structure and really thought the whole architecture through. It also talks about how the readings normally fall into a category of psychological, I guess, work and help to get insights on our personality, or divination. And normally it's not either, it's somewhere in between. And I totally agree with that, especially with a new approach to tarot reading. It is more about identifying strengths and weaknesses, looking at shadows, and a bit of a divination or planning or recognizing ourselves in the cards. It also talks about how to read tarot, and I quite like that there are two different approaches are given here. One is to memorize the meaning of cards, but also a second one, which is also very powerful, is using intuitive reading. And I'll show you in the cards, when we actually look at the design, how Marchetti designed the cards to help you with both of those, and I think we did a fantastic job. And then you go into a bit of a symbolism. You'll see also the element sign and zodiac signs as well. And then there's a bit of approaches with how you can combine the card and read, which I think is pretty good and very practical. And the card meaning themselves, quite like reading the major arcana here. Somewhat different take for some of them. And just some examples of sample reading. So this is a guidebook. And let's look at the cards. The quality of the deck is very decent. The cards are just proper thickness. So looking at 340, that's just a perfect thickness to allow you to shuffle without struggling too much, and also gives a good quality, I would suppose, for wear and tear. So these cards should last you a while. Now let's talk about the architecture a little bit. So this is traditional 78 card deck. There are some differences with the deck, probably from the meaning and visual perspective, right? And also with the deck, you'll find it's infused with horoscope and element signs. You will find that on the cards, the faces of the characters are really close up. And the reason for it is that Marchetti wanted us to have a personal connection with the characters which you can obviously get that if you look at someone really closely, right? Also, you'll find that the emotions on characters' faces, for exception of a couple maybe, neutral. And this is to allow you for the intuitive, unbiased reading. So looking at the fool, he's not angry or happy, he's just looking at you with the inquisitive eyes. And you'll find the same with others. Probably magician is slightly different, but the remaining ones will be similar to that. Starting in a fool, you'll find that it's slightly different take on a fool. He's a bit older than you would see or imagine on, let's say, Rider-Waite deck. He also a bit of a jester rather than this naive fool jumping off a cliff. He's more of a character who deals with kings and some at the king's palace, sort of thing. Also look at this interesting detail. So that is actually original card, full card from Tarot de Messier, one of the early editions. Magician, again, different take. You get slightly older character here who is more experienced, but still his face looks with awe and amazement, looking at like a new miracle or something with a fresh new eyes. And you also see this is the elements that I talked about. So here you see the element of air, and on top of that you'll see these magical symbols. So we're moving away from the wands and cups laid out on the table, but slightly different take. The High Priestess. So this lady here was modeled from Saint Lucy. She was a Roman martyr. And you also find that this deck contains a lot of Christian symbolism mixed together. And you got the full moon crescent here. I do love the Empress card. For me, Empress card from Rider-Waite deck, she's a bit more mature lady, where this one does represent the youthful energy of Earth. And of course, there is an elemental symbol here. The Emperor, modeled from probably Greco-Roman type of character. Now, here you can see the Aries woven into the photo here, image here. Also, Emperor here represents, if you saw the Empress was representing the Earth coming from inside, the Emperor controls the Earth. He's the one who brings order. Hierophant, remember I mentioned to you, Christian, a lot of Christian symbolism. This one here, obviously this is a Pope. Lover's card, love this one, look at that. So it's sort of a theater play on a stage, and the Gemini, and yeah, so this card is not about the choice, it is about the union, romantic connection more than anything. The Chariot, notice the Cancer's eye here. So this is again a Roman warrior defending his kingdom, defending home. Similar ideas with the will taking control of the intuition and intellect with two horses. Strength, another take on the Strength card with Lion. I love the Hermit card here. It's emphasis on the lantern right in the middle, but our Hermit didn't go anywhere. He's still here. This card represents Virgo, and I think it's also worth mentioning that it's probably modeled from Diogenes, as it was written in the book, the Greek philosopher looking for wisdom. The Wheel, completely different take, but meaning the same thing, ever-changing cycles of life. The Justice. Now look at remember I mentioned to the symbols, how those stick out. So if you do an intuitive reading, I think it would be quite easy for you to recognize some of the symbols when you do reading, and it's similar to, what's something that you intuitively recognize, but you cannot really get through your conscious awareness. These little highlights on the cards will help you to get there. Hanging Man, love this card too. And look, this is our jester here with a new understanding, patiently waiting. The Death, no surprises, beautifully designed card. Temperance, even more angelic with this one. Finding a balance. Devil here is a different one too. So this devil is actually a different interpretation. If you notice here, he's offering a key, and it can be interpreted a different way. It could be either key to a knowledge, or maybe key to be imprisoned and be chained to the devil. So it could represent a shallow knowledge that is not a real one, or also could represent a temptation, similar to vampires invite you in. They will grab you and bring you in. As the lore goes, you have to be invited and accept the invitation to come in. So different take on devil, probably more aligned with Jungian shadows. The tower, look at that again. Very different take on the traditional tower, with the face prominently shown here in the fire sign. Here we've got a star, another different take. This card still represents hope, but look at this beautiful change here. So similar to World card, this character here holds two magical balls, and it still represents hope, and it's similar meaning, just different take on it. Now Moon, very similar take. You got two wild animals here, which is probably closer to us, in the crustacean coming out, going through the evolution of a cycle, symbolizing our fool becoming, getting his own consciousness growing, and he has to travel through and go through challenges before he can become a hero, right? Also, look at this little interesting detail here. So the moon here also has a bit of a Christian symbolism. Now the Sun card, it's a different take on the Sun card you have seen before. So it's actually modeled off Louis the 14th, the Sun King, and he ruled for 72 years, longer than any European monarch. Now here this card represents rationality rather than victory. You'll see on a Sun card. Judgment is an interesting take. If you get the card, you'll read an interesting story about this in the guidebook. And finally, the World card. This is a different take on this. You'll probably see that, well, obviously the wands are still there, similar to what you see in a traditional deck. But here you got letters C and M, which are abbreviation of Christ in Majesty. And this is a tribute to traditional tarot decks that had Christ on the World card, and later on some theories is that because they use wooden blocks to press the cards, this eventually became unrecognizable figure that later became androgynous, all-encompassing character that completed the cycle. We're going to go to Minor Arcana now, and prepare to be amazed, because I think this is one of the best interpretations of Minor Arcana that I have seen. I think you will like it a lot. Starting with Cups. I'll point out some of the interesting things here, like for instance Cups, you're familiar with that one. Two of Cups. Here you got the bonding sign of two hands connecting. Three of Cups. Four of Cups, stagnation, pondering of something we already have and not recognizing something bigger and nicer potentially. The Five of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the nostalgia card, and look at that. I mean, you've got everything here. You got your toys, you got your friend from a childhood, you've got Disneyland looking structure, and even a unicorn. I mean, what else can you can you ask for in life? So this is take on the Seven of Cups card. Remember this Rider-Waite deck, the cups holding different images in there. I like how there's a Disneyland in the middle here as well, so I guess this is the right cup to choose. Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups, and of course the happiness, the Ten of Cups. And you got pretty much similar pages. You got knights. Now I like that Marchetti did not use the valuable real estate for writing the name. So for knights, you just use KN, and for kings, it's obviously K. Put your queen here, and the king, of course. Look at that one. So these are the wands, and they represent sort of this majestic ones with the crystal on top. And here you've got the lizard, which also can be interpreted as salamander, the fire sign. The two of wands, the choice, the three of wands. And you see how it's much easier to connect with the meaning of cards looking at faces. Like, you know, the two of wands, I just saw the choice, you know, choosing between the doors. And this one, planning or taking action on plans and contemplating whether I'm over prepared, whether, you know, my plans are good enough. Contemplation. The four of wands, building the nest, having stability. Much easier to interpret these ones. So that's what I was saying. It's interesting how it takes you on a different journey. Of course, the five of wands, the conflict, the passion, the disagreement, having different interests, and the victory. And this is friends going on adventure. This is actually different meaning from the seven of wands you will see. So the meaning actually is the same, but the imagery is different. Having this reward and, you know, band of I don't know what you call them, pirates or adventure seekers going on that adventure, right? The eight of wands, of course, everything in action. The battled nine of wands, serious warrior here. Suffering but not giving up, perseverance. And of course, you've got your 10 of wands. This is where the passion of the wands finally burnt out, and it's coming to the end of a cycle. Page of wands, beautiful design card. Knight of wands, again, it's a dragon, so knight here is riding a dragon, symbolizing taking action on your passions. The queen of wands, the king of wands, of course. Moving to swords. I hope you're enjoying these so far. It's been as I said, one of my surprising discoveries. Two of swords, remember that card? The choice, the dilemma, using logic or intuition, not knowing enough. The three of swords, the broken heart. Can you see it here though? That is definitely taking on that symbolism from Rider-Waite and taking it further. The four of swords, the contemplation. The five of swords, battle, taking refuge away. The seven of swords, and of course the eight of swords, being trapped and chained. Waking up from a nightmare, the anxiety, looking at that, the pillow there, it's just undeniably more, I guess, connecting than what you would see on other decks. This is, of course, the 10 of swords. Page of swords, the knight of swords taking charge, the queen of swords, of course, the only one with a sword in the deck, and the king of swords. Moving to pentacles, or coins in this deck. Actually, I forgot about that. It's a very earthy, very material sign, beginning of something new. Look at the balance. Look at this ballerina, the foot, the shoe. It's keeping that balance between material things. The three of coins, the apprenticeship, collaboration. The four of coins, holding on to your wealth so hard so it feels tense. The five of coins, look at that. So now you can see this lady through the window looking at you. But in Rider-Waite, you see them outside of it, you know, over all the warmth and having all the wealth inside and someone's looking for help, maybe asking for help. This is the 6 of coins, planting the seed and seeds and looking after the harvest. The 8 of coins, the 9 of coins, the success, the wealth, and finally the 10 of coins. Page of coins, you probably remember this young lady from the guidebook. The Knight of coins, the Queen of coins, and of course finishing with the King of coins. So let's do a 1-card read and you will see how this deck performs. And I think this is probably one of the most easier decks to read intuitively. I'll do it in a second and you can make your own judgment, but we'll also use the book and see how that plays out, right? So let's just grab it. So grab a judgment. All right. So what do we see here? We see that someone been pulled to the sky by the hand into another realm. Looks like a person going to heaven, perhaps, or a happier place, ascending into another plane. This is definitely a card that tells me that the person is going through a transformation. They are ascending to the next level, and it's a level where they get a different understanding of who they are, and it's a spiritual ascension rather than an ascension of material type. And very different take from Rider-Waite, if you remember that, in terms of the imagery. Now let's look at judgment, how it is translated in the guidebook. An angel blows a triumphant horn. Throughout the Marchetti Tarot's major arcana, we've seen several instances of Christian symbology. Yet for the Judgment card, the traditional Christian image of an angel blowing a trumpet, drawing the dead from their graves, is abandoned to favor a more direct metaphor. A hand reaches upward from below, grasped by a hand that reaches down from above. Below, a dancer is impelled upward an unseen force, which is significant of the moment and underscored by the whirlpool of clouds out of which the upper hand emerges. Something outside of everyday concerns reaches down to pull us into new awareness, a new goal, and new opportunity. The wrought iron gate in return engagement, following in its debut on the Death card, shows that we are transitioning to a new phase of existence. In the more mundane context of reading, perhaps we have spent years thinking of ourselves a certain way, but a new interest or new goal makes us realize that our lives can change. The dancer's pose contains an important clue to our reaction to this card. He gives himself up wholly to the new idea of or new reality and allows himself to be borne up by the invisible wave. In the reading, a reevaluation of our current situation in light of new goal, opportunity, and openness to a significant paradigm shift. Unearth memories of choices and events that have led you to where you are today. Experiencing a calling, a summons from outside yourself that urges you to act. Reaching down to help someone who can use the help. Likewise, reaching up to accept help from others. So, I would say that my intuitive reading of this was quite on par to what we just read there, and that's the beauty of this deck. So I think if you are impressed by this deck, same as me, you will not regret getting one of these. And I am very calculating with my with my recommendations, as you probably noticed from my videos. I think this deck, it could be easily used by someone who is completely new to tarot, given the fact that you've got an amazing companion book here that talks about how to actually read cards, because of you being able to read the cards intuitively. It also can be an amazing companion to you if you like Rider-Waite deck but looking for something that is easier to read intuitively, perhaps having a refresher look on some of these symbols. And also, if you are looking to expand your understanding of cards into elements, this deck will most certainly give you hidden cues on how to do this. So this is what I think about this deck. Now, we talked about the present. Let's talk about the future just for a quick second. And this is the deck I'm excited to announce I'll be reviewing next week. And I have no idea what to expect. It does look very interesting. I've been waiting for this deck. I pre-ordered it a few months ago and it finally arrived. And I will be showing you the deck and what I think about it in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, you know what to do. Please subscribe to my channel and come back for the new tarot deck reviews. This is Jay with Lunar Tarot, and I will see you in the next one.